Good morning, Danay. How are you today?
I'm great. Happy to be here. It's like it's happening.
I was gonna say, I was like, this has kind of been a long time coming for you guys. You guys did the filming late or earlier this year. Now finally you get to promote it. So how are you feeling about that?
I'm so excited. It's one of those things that you put so much into it for a while and you're keeping it to yourself and you're just sharing it with just a very close, crew.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden it's just ready to go out in the world. I really can't wait. I cannot keep this all to myself.
Well, let's start from the very beginning. Okay, walk me through how you even were approached for this show.
I it was an audition. It was a casting. I got a call and they're like, this is a great project. They would like to see you for this. And I do live in Austin, Texas, and I do remember reading the breakdown, and I just felt something was special. I don't know what it was, and I remember I requested, do they do on in-person auditions? And they're like, let me get back to you because you're out of town. I'm like, yeah, but I'm willing to fly myself to LA to be in person. This is how
Mhm.
much I need to connect with whoever is doing this.
Mhm.
And they say yes, they're willing to do it. It's a couple of days. I'm like, I'll be there, and I just bought myself a flight, rented myself an Airbnb close to the casting office, walked there. I just gave my heart. I was working on the audition on the plane. It was that kind of audition. I went in person, and I haven't done an in person audition in so long since COVID.
I
So
was,
it was a
I was
crazy experience.
I was going to ask you about that. Like, what, because you just said, like, you don't, this was the first in person for you in a while. What do you think it was that made you decide, like, I have to be in person for this? Like, was there something you read, or is it just an innate connection to the character?
It was a connection that I cannot explain it. It happened really quick. I don't know what I was saying. I'm flying myself to LA. I will make it happen. Like I couldn't even think why. It was a, it was an intuition that I had to connect in person with the creator or the director, the showrunner. I just wanna to be directed into what they wanted to see because I have something to show. And my audition was like over an hour, and it was the most profound audition I've had in my life. It was amazing. It was worth everything. The fact that I flew myself there.
Yeah, and now looking back, on that audition, do you think there was a part where you're like, now I know what that was? Like, what about this character that drew me to auditioning now that you've played her?
I think I was Yes, I think she represents how complex it is to be a woman in power, and also to be a mother, and to be a loving wife, and what it takes to thrive in that world without losing her being a feminine, and then
Mhm.
being graceful within herself and being tough. And I just love how complex, how you can carry all that and how to build a character that carries everything all at once.
And I
um,
was going to touch upon that because your character does have a lot of, I hate using this phrase, but there's a lot of hats she's wearing. She's a wife, she's a mother, but she's also, as you said, a woman in power. So for you, how do you build a character like that? Where do you pull those inspirations from?
I think that's who we are. I think that's how I go out and I see that everywhere. It just hasn't been written like the way that we are, but we're not making this up. And we're talking generations. Like when you talk to a woman you can see the badass in them. Like where does that come from? That strength. Like how do you do that? It's just it, I'm really committed to bring a lot of us to the table.
Mhm.
And in this case, it was already written, which is such a luxury. And I love being a woman. I love feeling what I feel. I love seeing the world from my eyes. I think it's important to be able to put it out there in so many layers, as a mother, as a woman, as a sister, as a person. It's really who we are.
Mhm.
It,
And
as
without giving away any kind of spoilers, is there a scene that you did in the season that you feel as though showcases that? I mean, a
Oh,
lot of them do, but
yes. Have you seen the whole thing?
yeah, I've seen the whole thing.
Oh, how can I not spoil that?
I
Okay.
know.
Oh, so I had the honor to play a lot of layers of womanhood
Mhm.
at this point. And, no, everything is pretty. Everything is complex and is hard. And there's a scene that you can see both minds really playing a very, living a human experience at its worst and most painful, and how you operate in that depth in the ocean is very hard, and but it's beautiful, because they're both surviving in some shape or form, and they don't want to hurt each other, but that's what they do, and what you do with it is what really defines you. And there's a scene in episode 6 that really you can see the darkest of both at the same time. Dark spots, because you can go through a dark place at different times,
Mhm.
but they go there at the same time and they meet, and that is hard to find
Mhm.
story. So yes, that was tough.
Well, Danai, thank you so much for speaking with me today. And I'm so happy you finally get to chat about it. And I'm even more excited for people to see the show.
Thank you.